2 years. Identify the types of general lien that can affect real estate. Judgment lien, estate tax lien, inheritance tax lien, debts of a decedent, corporation franchise tax lien, federal income tax lien. Identify the types of specific lien that can affect real estate. General real estate tax ad valorem tax lien, special assessment improvement tax lien, mortgage lien, deed of trust lien, mechanics lien, municipal utilities lien, bail bond lien. Identify the types of voluntary lien that can affect real estate. Special assessment improvement tax lien, mortgage lien, deed of trust lien, bail bond lien. Identify the types of involuntary lien that can affect real estate. Identify the requirements for a valid contract. A contract must be voluntary offer and acceptance, an agreement or a promise consideration made by legally competent parties supported by legal consideration having to do with a legal act. Identify the various types of contracts used in the real estate business. Listing and buyer agency agreements, real estate sales contracts, options agreements, escrow agreements, leases, land contracts or contracts for deed. Identify the reasons for terminating a contract. Substantial performance, impossibility of performance, mutual agreement, operation of law, rescission. Distinguish between bilateral and unilateral contracts. Distinguish between executed and executory contracts. An executed contract is one in which all parties have fulfilled their promises, the contract has been performed. An executor contract exists when one or both parties still have an act to perform. Distinguish between valid, void, and voidable contracts. According to the Illinois Statute of Frauds, all contracts for the sale of land and leases that will not be fulfilled within what period of time must be written to be enforceable? 1 year. Give an example of a bilateral contract. A real estate sales contract is bilateral. Give an example of a unilateral contract. An option contract is unilateral. In Illinois, what is the statute of limitations for oral contracts? 5 years. In Illinois, what is the statute of limitations for written contracts? 10 years. Licensees are required to give each person signing a contract an original true copy within how much time? 24 hours. A contingency includes what key elements? The specific actions necessary to satisfy the contingency, the time frame within which the actions must occur, who is responsible for paying any costs involved. Identify various common contingencies. Mortgage contingency, inspection contingency, property sale contingency, percolation test. Identify the circumstances in which an installment land contract or land contract is void. The document forbids the contract buyer to record the contract. The document provides that recording shall not constitute notice. The document provides any penalty for recording. Identify the basic requirements for a valid deed in Illinois. Identify the types of deeds used to convey real estate. General warranty deed, special warranty deed, bargain and sale deed, quitclaim deed, deed and trust, trustee's deed, deed executed pursuant to a court order. Identify various reasons for involuntary alienation. Condemnation, sale to satisfy delinquent tax or mortgage liens, death without a will intestate. Who signs the deed for a transfer of real property in Illinois? The grantor. What constitutes the transfer of title? A title is not considered transferred until the deed is actually delivered to and accepted by the grantee. What are the covenants of a general warranty deed? covenant of season, covenant against encumbrances, covenant of quiet enjoyment, covenant of further assurance, covenant of warranty forever. What warranties does a special warranty provide? Warranty that grantor received title, warranty that property was unencumbered by grantor. What is the Illinois state and county transfer tax? State transfer tax is 50 cents per $500 in sales price. County transfer tax is 25 cents per $500 in sales price. Total transfer tax is 75 cents per $500 in sales price. Who pays the state and county transfer tax? The seller. What is the local transfer tax? It varies. Check local zoning law. Who pays the local transfer tax? It varies. Check local zoning law. At first possession by a claimant must have which characteristics to be valid in court? Open, notorious, continuous and uninterrupted for 20 years, hostile, adverse to the true owner's possession. How many non-beneficiary witnesses must be present and sign a will to make it valid? 2. Identify the various proofs of ownership. Abstract and attorney's opinion of title, certificate of sale, title insurance policy. Distinguish between constructive and actual notice. Constructive notice is the legal presumption that information may be obtained by an individual through due diligence. Actual notice means not only that the information is available but also that someone has been given the information and actually knows it. Where do you record a deed? The county that the real estate is located in. In most cases, who pays for the title search in Illinois? The seller. What characteristics must a title have in order to be marketable? What is not covered by title insurance? Defects and liens listed in policy, defects known to buyer, changes in land use brought about by zoning ordinances. Identify the various categories of licensure. Leasing agent's license, salesperson's license until April 30th, 2012, broker's license, managing broker's license. Describe actions which may result in discipline against a licensee. False or fraudulent representation, felony conviction, unable to practice with reasonable judgment, skill, or safety, practicing without a license or with an expired license, cheating on the exam, inaccurate or false advertising. Identify the major funds administered through the IDFPR. Real Estate License Administration Fund, Estate Research and Education Fund, Real Estate Recovery Fund, Real Estate Audit Fund. Identify a few notable exceptions to the Real Estate License Act license requirement. Licenses can be renewed within how many days prior to their expiration? 90 days. What are the requirements to receive a broker's license in Illinois? Who is exempt from the licensure education requirements? Attorneys admitted to the practice of law by the Illinois Supreme Court. For how many years is approved education valid after satisfactory course completion? 4 years. The license must be applied for within what period of time after passing the state test? 1 year. The state test can be taken how many times before retaking the educational coursework? 4 times. The blank sponsor card received upon successful completion of the state test is valid for what time period? The card is valid for 45 days after it is signed by a sponsoring broker. Brokers, managing brokers, and leasing agents may renew their license by paying the necessary fees and meeting the continuing education requirements for how many years after expiration? 2 years. Identified states that currently have reciprocity with Illinois: Nebraska, South Dakota, Colorado, Connecticut, Indiana, Iowa, Georgia, Wisconsin. What is the initial state licensing fee? $125. What is the state license renewal fee? $150. When do licensed real estate brokers renew their licenses? April 30th, even-numbered years. When do licensed managing brokers renew their licenses? April 30th, odd-numbered years. When do real estate businesses renew their licenses? October 31st, even-numbered years. Other than the first renewal period after licensure, brokers and managing brokers are required to complete how many continuing education hours per year? 6 hours. Who needs a written employment agreement with their sponsoring brokers? All salespersons, brokers, or leasing agents, all licensed personal assistants in the firm. Each sponsoring broker who accepts earnest money shall maintain in their office or place of business a bookkeeping system that consists of at least what records? Journal, ledger, monthly reconciliation statement, master escrow account log. Ads prepared by a licensee should always include what items? Licensee name, company name, the city or area of the advertised property. The IDFPR can refuse to renew your license for non-payment of which obligations? All Illinois taxes, student loans, child support. What is the maximum amount the Real Estate Recovery Fund will pay to a single person? $25,000. What is the maximum amount the Real Estate Recovery Fund will pay to multiple parties affected by a single wrongdoing? $100,000 divided evenly among all parties. What is the statute of limitations connected with the Real Estate Recovery Fund? A suit that may ultimately result in a collection from the fund must be commenced within 2 years after the date the alleged violation occurred. The department must initiate any action it plans to take against an individual licensee within 5 years. Distinguish between title theory, lien theory, and intermediate theory states. Most mortgages in Illinois pay their interest in advance or in arrears. In arrears. The number of discount points charged on a loan depends on what factors? The difference between the interest rate and the required investor yield, how long the lender expects it will take the borrower to pay off the loan. 1 discount point equals what percent of the loan amount? 1%. In Illinois, lenders are prohibited from charging the borrower a prepayment penalty on a fixed-rate loan secured by residential real estate when the loan's interest rate is greater than what percent? 8%. What party is responsible for recording the release deed/deed of reconveyance? It is the mortgager's responsibility. When a person purchases real estate that is subject to an outstanding mortgage or deed of trust, the buyer may take the property in which ways? The property may be purchased subject to the mortgage, or the buyer may assume the mortgage or deed of trust and agree to pay the debt. Identify the methods of foreclosure in which can be used in Illinois. Non-judicial foreclosure, judicial foreclosure, strict foreclosure. The only method applied in Illinois is judicial foreclosure. Although Illinois doesn't have the statutory right of redemption,